स्फुरन्ते सीकराजस्मात् आनन्दसाम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्रितं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। योग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। योग वशिष्ठ निर्वाण प्रकरण and second half, 91st chapter. We are discussing most interesting subject on the creation and dissolution and the visibility or the sight of our so-called world, analysis of it. All these we discuss here on the basis of the story of the golden rock. And there was what Vasistha ji saw, a big creation, and he saw it, he saw the dissolution of it, and in the end the essence what remained in the end, and how it was came to process, how it was started. All these Vasistha ji narrated to Lord Rama in details, and in the end he says, "O Rama, all these is nothing but the mental, some continuous flow of imaginations, and which are seen by the mind or ego itself. That ego becomes one with the world, and it experiences the different names and forms of the world, and from the absolute point of view, all these never exist. All these are not at all there, and only the absolute truth remains, dazzles as it were in itself. All these are just imaginations. All these Vasistha ji is explaining us. When he started telling how the ego appears to be as some identity in absolute truth where there is no question of any identity, because the absolute is absolutely all pervading, omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent. So there is no question of having anything other than it within it. Because of its absolute transparency and light, it dazzles in itself and it appears to be something. And all these appearances, so-called imaginary appearances, are solidified and they have their relationship among themselves, all these views, all these identities. And that is what one sees the world outside it, the other sees in different way. In this way, the darkness sees the darkness in darkness. Or otherwise you can say the reflections are reflected in reflections in numbers, and they are within themselves and they are outside themselves. They are everywhere. They are there which are not there, because they are only reflections. And the manyness of one, that also is just imagination. There is no many, there is no one. All these are seen by Vasistha or explained by him to Rama from both different angles. One is worldly angle of vision, relative angle of vision. So everything is there, all the names and forms, they have their relationship, they have their transactions, one sees the other. That means one relates itself with the other by its way of association, relation or influence or contact, any way we can say. So that is, in other language we say, one perceives the outward world through its senses, and that is how we saw the 5 units of senses and 5 senses of knowledge, and how the mind gets contact with the outward objects through the 5 senses of knowledge. And that mind is nothing but, it is fourfold inside. So it is nothing but the ego itself. And that ego is nothing but some identity which is solidified by repeatedly occurrence. Repeated occurrence. Some idea, when it gets repeated again and again, it takes a form, and that is what is called ego. And that ego also has no certain cause or some basement, no hold of itself. It is baseless, meaningless, only imaginations. In this way, Vasistha ji explained everything to Rama, and in the end he says how the mind becomes takes all these forms and names. That means it contacts with the outer world made up of names and forms and pairs of opposites. In this way, how the mind gets contact with the outside objects which are nothing but thoughts repeated again and again. So one thought gets contact with the other thought which is already repeated and taken a form. That is what reality of the so-called our outside world. And basically, if you see, everything is imagination, nothing else, which has got no base at all, baseless, meaningless. So in this way, how the mind becomes all these or sees all these outside it, how it happens, all these process, thought process, secret thought process, which is repeated again and again in a cycle that is narrated by Vasistha ji to Ram. And he, in the end, he says, when one thought remains unshaken, unmoved, steadily for some time. When thought is there, there is time and space. So it becomes many. And if it becomes many, then all these many thoughts in different ways, they get repeated again and again. In this way, some sound and name and some form, they have relation. Names are given to the forms, and the relationship is established. In this way, the one thought becomes many, and the world appears to be, and relationship starts, and all these worldly transactions go on. So what happens? Mind plays the drama. And that mind, which is full of innumerable thoughts, if it remains steady on one thought for a pretty long time, what happens? That is, in yogic language, we say one-pointedness, concentration of mind, or when it remains for a longer time, it becomes a meditation. Meditation means one thought for a longer period without being disturbed. And that, if continues for still longer time, then that becomes a samadhi. In this way, when thought takes a form and never changes, that is called concentration, meditation or samadhi. It takes one form and it remains steady for a pretty long time. That is called concentration and meditation or samadhi with a thought. And when that thought dissolves, it disappears, then the absolute existence exists as perfect existence. that is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. There is no possibility of identity which is called ego. So in this way, when we see the process, yogic process, then we have to understand the thought takes the form. Thought takes the form. If it remains on some other object, which was in the very beginning basically that thought only, but now they have been changed in the process of long time. Innumerable thoughts which was one at a time as a primordial sound, pranav, the sound vibration which took the form of prana, also energy, and which took the sound name also, which took the form, some object, and all these they started relating with each other, and the world appears to be like something. So in the very basement, the mind is playing the drama. And now when we are in the world, if one thought, that means mind has some contact with the outside object through the process of perception, and it gets contact with one object for a short time, it gets some information which we know as perception, and we get some knowledge of the object contacted, and that knowledge is momentary because mind changes, the thought comes back from the object, and again the thought goes to the other object. In this way, because of changing phenomena, we get haphazard information about the objects outside. Now, if the thought remains steady on that object, then what happens? That is called meditation on any object or samadhi. That means the mind gets saturated with the object. It loses its thought identity and it becomes one with the object. That means it gets fully oneness with the object. Then it gets all the knowledge of the object. That is, in yogic language we say sanyam. When mind gets oneness with the object, it gets all the knowledge of it because it becomes it. Just as I know everything about myself, if myself is the body, then I know everything about the body. But you can ask, here everybody will have doubt. Do you know everything of your body? No, because of this mind only. Because mind thinks of the body only for a second or a moment. Again it goes on changing. That's why it has no full knowledge of the body inside, outside, in detail. Because of its changes. Every now and then my mind changes. It doesn't remain on the body for longer time, so it doesn't know anything in detail of the body. But the yogis, they know every nerve and every bone, everything they know, because they see everything practically because of their one-pointed mind, clear vision, steady vision. That's how we come to know if the mind is steady on one object, it gets the full knowledge of the object. It becomes one with it, and that's how when you see one thing for a longer time, you get more and more information of the object. If it remains steady on that, then it will get all the knowledge. This is the formula. So on this basis, Vasistha ji explained Rama how he saw the world, the detailed world, how he saw. In the very beginning, he means the mind of identity of the ego of Vasistha ji, which was purely yogic ego. That means any moment it can be steady, any moment it can appear to talk something or to have relationship with others, which is under control. He knows it is just a thought process. So everything, his actions, his mind, everything is under control. That is how a yogic mind has relations with the outer world. It does everything without any attachment, without any doership. So Vasistha ji narrated, first of all he have an idea of the earth, the grossest element among the five. Five basic elements: the sky, air, fire, and water, and earth. So in the very beginning, Vasistha ji had the strong one-pointed mind on the earth. That means he made dharana on earth. He thought, means his thought became one with the earth. So he got all the detailed information. That is, in other language he saw all the details of the manyness or many identities, many forms of the same one whole earth. In different ways he went on observing the earth. He became earth and he found himself in many ways. Himself means his thoughts, which was basically one with the earth. It took many forms of the earth and it saw all the different picture of the earth. It became the mountain, it became the outward superficial say, earth with different lands and countries and everything, and mountains and all these big holes or anything, whatever we see in the form of earth, gross form, that Vasistha ji saw in his thought process. That means he imagined all these, he became all these. That means his thought became all these, and it was his thought process only. And after that he made dharana on water element, and how the water becomes the source of life, and how it is spread all over the creation, everywhere, in the living beings, in non-living beings, in plant world, everywhere. The water is present in everything as the life principle inside it. That also in detail Vasistha ji narrated to Ram. That means how one thought on water principle, which was the life principle, how it became many, and how his one thought became many, having the form of water in different ways. And he saw the water world. And then he comes to the fire element. He concentrates on fire, and he becomes the fire in innumerable forms. That also is life principle, which is all pervading in earth, in water, in all the beings, and in all the stars, moon, sun, and all these objects, whichever is visible. That visibility is nothing but the knowledge. Knowledge is fire. So, whatever you know, it is the effect of your knowledge, that means fire element. And in this way, Vasistha ji was narrating how he became fire, and he was all pervading in all these elements, or all these names and forms of the visible world. And the other language we can say, his thought process took the form of fire, and he saw the fire world. Same thing from different angle when we see, with a different language when we express, it changes its meaning. So Vasistha ji was telling, जब परमार्थ दशा में यह सब कुछ दृश्य निर्विकार ब्रह्म रूप ही सिद्ध हुआ, तब ब्रह्म पद में ही रहकर मैंने अपनी आत्मा को उक्त नाना वेद जगत के रूप में देखा। यह बात निश्चित रूप से आप जान लीजिए। In the end, yesterday, Vasistha ji confirmed, emphasized on this idea to Rama. Rama, all these were only whatever I said, all these only imaginations. And I, by my thought process, I saw all these, I became all these were only imaginations, but basically I was established on myself, and the thought process was going on changing in this way. That's all. That means he wanted to say all this world is not there. Whatever I told you, Rama, only imaginary some stories or some thought process. What is seen by, what was seen by my thought process. My mind saw all these. All these were imaginations in different ways, different aspect, differently. All these were not there, only I was observing myself in the end. All these do not exist, simply imaginations. यदि पाषाण मणि आदि का रूप होने पर मुझ में चैतन्य न रहता तो उनका अनुभव और आज स्मरण मुझको होता ही नहीं, इस आशय से कह रहे हैं। ये कुछ संसार रूप से कुछ चमकीली भावना, जिसको मणि कहा। मणि मतलब कुछ चमकीले वस्तु। तो वो चमकीले क्यों कहा गया? Why it is dazzling? All these thoughts, they took the form of dazzling jewels. Why? Why not dark stones? No, because it has some impression in my mind. That means I remember all those what I saw that time. That means it has some impressions. So it is a forgotten knowledge. Knowledge means there will be light, dazzling, it will glitter. So he gives the name, the word dazzling stones, the jewels. All these thoughts were jewels because it was glittering on the basement of fire, because it was fire. I meditated on fire. So all those thoughts were on fire only. So it was something like dazzling jewels. They are yet in my mind, just as I told you about the castle built by me in the air, named Swastika Ashram. I built a beautiful ashram in the air some time long ago, and whenever I want to see it, it comes before me, because it was so intensely thought over. Whenever I forget it, it is not there. When I remember it, it appears to be there. The same is the case with our visible world. When you see it, it is there. When you forget it, there is no world. And same thing in a different way. When the yogis, they try to see the world, they see it as they like. And when they don't want to see it, they enter into samadhi. There is no world. When a person meditates or intense meditations become samadhi, at that time he never experiences anything on this so-called world. There is no world, because world means manyness of the thought process.
Swamiji, pigeon when it sees a cat, it closes its eyes, shuts it, and imagines that the cat is gone. So, what is the difference there? And it does it intensely, it is programmed in the genetics.
Everything is your thought only, whether it is genetic or it is uh, physical, or it is mental, or it is with some solid names and forms, or it is imaginary, dreamy objects. Whatever you say, all these are nothing but thoughts. Whatever you say, that is, thoughts have taken the form of speech. And that speech, that thought is nothing but only a vibratory system, only some waves, thought waves, and it is again nothing but a disturbance in absolute silence. Nobody can deny it. Basically, everything is a disturbance. So that takes a different language. We say it is a thought process. Some say it is imaginary. Some say it is repeated again and again. That's how it is seen with a name and form. Differently, different things are told on the same point. Everything is a disturbance. When you enter to the realm of silence, there is no world, there is no thoughts, nobody is there, neither I nor you.
I guess when we go in very depth of samadhi, then there is no object.
Yes,
So is it sakshi, or it is just another stage, just like awakening and then
Sakshiness, witnessing is up to Savikalpa Samadhi. There is ego, one thought, strong one thought which never changes, so it remains as a witness of all other thoughts around it. But it itself never gets disturbed. It sees the disturbance outside. Just as the milestone sees the different cars moving by side at feet. The milestone never changes its place. It observes whatever passengers they pass by. That is called Savikalpa Samadhi. But absolute silence, where there is no milestone, it is neither dark nor light. There is no milestone, there is no road at all, no passengers, no seers of it, only absolute silence in the midst of a cave inside a dark, dense forest at midnight. Absolute silence. Even there will not be found any insects which make sound. That is also not there. Absolute silence. That is called the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is the silence only. That is, that we can say whatever is told by Vedas, by negating everything, whatever remains as absolute remnants, that state is that silence. We can say nothing about it. Neither identity, neither seer nor seen, nor doer nor done, nor witnessing nor witnessed objects. Nothing is there. So that is called absolute existence without any expression of it, nor by itself, nor by anything other than itself. Without any vibrations, without any waves. The water is absolutely balanced on the surface, and inwardly also, outwardly also. The moment there will be little wind, we see the ripples on the superficial water, then it is not water. It is water, but it becomes something other than water. It appears to be ripples or waves, but yet it doesn't give up its water quality. It remains as water forever, and then many things are told over it. When the disturbance is there, then you can go on telling, seeing it from different angles, go on telling anything over it. That is different, totally different. But we are talking of the absolute balanced state, where there is no possibility of any waves.
How many possibility for Vyavhar remains, like you can interact or it is
That is disturbance, call it Vyavhar, call it whatever you like. It is disturbance. So, as per Vasistha ji, he explained Rama, my dear, absolutely I was nothing. There was no world, nothing, no thoughts, nothing. Neither I became water nor fire. But this is how, if at all there was some disturbance seen in the mental surface, then all these were the systematic ways of thought process. This is how the yogis, they see the world analytically and systematically. They see this world, but they know this is not the world, this is my imagination in different ways. That's all. Just as I have not arrayed any military force to keep guard on that swastika ashram yet, because it is always safeguard. Nobody is going to destroy it. Nobody can. If I like, I can do and undo, do anything to it. Once I allowed the thieves to steal that big diamond piece from the top of the temple in the center of swastik. It was so big, and those thieves were having eye on it. So I said, take it. I allowed them to take it. And I requested Brihaspati ji to give a part of its body as a big diamond. And I placed it again. It is yet dazzling there. So it is my wish. I play with it. I can allow the President Putin, Putin, to put a bomb over it. It is my choice. Nothing will happen. Just as American bombarding did nothing to Iran nuclear system. Similarly, I will ask the President Putin to experiment some nuclear bomb on that. But yet nothing will happen. And if he sends a drone, it may destroy it. It depends upon my choice. So Vasistha ji was telling all these imaginary stories to Rama, and he is emphasizing again and again on this mental, imaginary creation. Rama, don't take all these to be true. यदि पाषाण मणि आदि का रूप होने पर मुझ में चैतन्य न रहता, if all these thoughts they go on working without my awareness, can they do anything? Can they go on imagining they can become the thought waves? Because on the basement I was the awareness. So I was observing all these. हे श्री राम जी, पृथ्वी आदि की धारणाओं द्वारा अपने को पृथ्वी आदि 5 भूतों के रूप में प्रकाशित कर रहा मैं, यदि जड़ रूप हो बन जाता, जड़ रूप ही बन जाता, तो मैं उनका अनुभव ही कैसे कर सकता? If I would be without awareness, can I see all these thought process of my becoming earth, becoming water or fire? All these thought process, all these seeing, visualizing the different forms of all this world is only possible for me when I am aware of it. That awareness is myself, which is called myself. Without that, all these thought process is not, it cannot be seen. So, in the base, I was everything. I was observing everything, which is nothing but absolute awareness. तब सुसुप्ति अवस्था में मैंने कुछ नहीं जाना। यह ज्ञानाभाव का अनुभव कैसे होता है? Now comes the critical question. How do you say that I didn't know anything in my deep sleep state? The question comes, because you were sleeping quite soundly, you knew nothing. When you got up, something I asked, Manishji, did you see, do you know at what time that heavy storm started at night and how it created disaster? That mountain came down, there was so heavy landslide. Did you know anything about it? No, Swamiji, I was sleeping so soundly. I did know nothing. I knew nothing. How? Why? Because I was deep asleep. Okay, how did you know that you were asleep? You know that you don't know, isn't it? You know that you know nothing. How can you say, I know nothing? You know that you know nothing. That knowing nothing is on the awareness only. You are all the time aware. So in some language we can say, we can explain it. Your awareness was, say, covered up by some unawareness. Just as the children cover up so many quilts, blankets in winter nights, and they like to cover up everything. Even they don't keep the head open. They cover up their head and their nose, everything. That's how the body is covered up fully. So also your awareness also was covered up by tamas, a kind of forgetfulness. You forgot yourself, but you were there. You know it. मैं सोया हूँ, इस दृढ़ भाव को चेतन होकर भी मैंने जाना। उस दशा में निद्रा दोष से उपस्थित किया गया, अज्ञान ही मैंने कुछ नहीं जाना, इस प्रतीति से प्राप्त कराई गई। जड़ता धारण करता है और प्रकाशमान स्वप्रकाश रूप जो वस्तु है वह तो उस समय प्रकाशती और अनुभव करती रहती है। यदि यह बात न होता तो सुषुप्ति काल में अनुभूत अज्ञान का जागृत काल में स्मरण कैसे होता? So In the deep sleep also, you cannot say you were absent. Your awareness was there. It was covered up by the thick cover of sleep. That is tamas. You know that you were asleep. In no condition you can be absent anywhere by any means. You are always present. Your presence cannot be absent. That presence is awareness. So, Vasistha tried to prove and explain to Rama all these worlds outside us, whatever we take it as the concrete truth, as solid truth, is nothing but your awareness covered up by thought waves, and they have taken the form of thoughts and names and forms, and they have been seen in different ways in this way, which you call it world. You see it outside, but it is your own self, your awareness which has taken all these forms. Whether it is you or I or Vasistha or Ramji, it doesn't make any difference. It is their absolute awareness. In the deep sleep state, you know that you are asleep. You cannot say, I don't know. I was there, I remember I was there, but I didn't know anything. That shows you know everything. You know everything, but it was haphazard, it was covered up. We can give an example of the say, lamp. Sometimes what we do, we burn the lamp and our science, but because of some wind by the side of the lamp there is a window, and sometimes when we keep the window open, there will be danger of it is going out. So what we know, what we do, we put up a cover around it, some glass cover. Okay. Yet it may be disturbed by strong wind. So keep it on a box. Okay. The smoke also should go. We kept it inside a box, all the four sides with the glasses so that we can see. No, when we want to meditate, we don't want that light to be seen. So put a plastic cover over it. It is transparent, yet it is disturbing. So put up another, cover it up another by another black plastic sheet. Yet there is something, the light is yet visible. Put another thick black plastic cover around it. Okay, now the light is completely, the lamp is completely unseen. Okay, does it mean the lamp is not burning? Lamp is there inside. It is not visible to you. Why? Because it is covered up by many layers of different covers. Isn't it? Similarly, our awareness is there all the time, whether it is in deep sleep or in dream or in awakeness, in waking state. Even in waking state, we forget so many things. Why do you forget? Because of because of restlessness of the mind, which changes every moment, doesn't keep steady itself on any object. That's how one has to forget one thing to remember the other thing. That's how, when it is too busy, restless, then we forget so many things. Or when we attend to something more with more interest, then we forget other things. This is how forgetting and remembering happens.
But Swamiji, then we say we don't have free will, so how we forget or remember, we can choose. And everything is happening according to plan, divine will. So we really don't have the choice to remember or forget anything.
Every moment it happens. And if it has strong impressions, it remains in the subconscious mind. But mind is not aware of it. When the favorable conditions are around it, those sanskaras, those impressions, they try to come out and become many. That's how we remember. Or else it is forgotten. But with forgetfulness also remembrance is there. Always we have to remember both together. Where there is awareness, there is unawareness also. When there is forgetfulness, there is remembrance also. Memory also is there. Impressions are called memories. Why? Because it is steadily kept in the storehouse as we keep all the seeds in the storehouse of seeds. It is there. It is not working now. The seeds are there. They are not absent. When the favorable conditions, time and other conditions are available, then only they come out and they try to become many. One becomes many, that is the process of the world. It started with this DNA and everything goes on with this momentum only. One becomes many. Thoughts also like that. Actions also like that. Our visibility, our connections, our relationships, our actions and reactions, everything. One becomes many. That is called restlessness, that is called manyness of the world. That is called the evolution process of the world. Whether it evolves or it decreases, nobody knows. Huh? Whether, yes,
Swamiji, can we say that the main difference between when the body dies, death, and the sleep is that in sleep we get awareness, but in death we got subconscious mind, the memory is there, but awareness is not there.
yes, awareness is covered up by the fear of death. fear of losing the body, that body consciousness becomes the fear and it covers up the awareness. That is called murcha, senselessness. Memories are there. That is how karma means the impressions which are stored, and by the force of it, because it vibrates, it gives a push to go ahead, and by that vibration, by that push, by that prompting, the individual body, subtle body, it travels in the subtler realms, finding out somewhere suitable place to work out further, and getting some suitable, favorable conditions to work in a subtle way, or after that in a gross way. So some gross instruments are required according to the force of the previous momentum. In this way, the lifestyle goes on eternally, and it goes on increasing. There is no end to it. It cannot end. There is no possibility. Every moment it multiplies. So only way is to set fire. Jnana Agni Dagdha Karmani. If you put fire to the storehouse of seeds, then only the farmer gives up its farming and goes for government service or begging or doing some business. It gives up its farming because the seed house is burnt up. No more seeds. This is how, on this basis only Yoga Sutra says to stop the system of subconscious mind, vibrating system of the subconscious mind, which the language they use, vrittis, the waves of the thoughts. They become waves when the favorable conditions are available, and that is observed every moment in different ways of favorability. The surroundings, the time, and the situations, they favor some kind of thoughts, some kind of impressions to become many. So that kind of that nature, thoughts, waves, that means the impressions, they come out and they try to become many. That's how the mental thought process goes on according to the surroundings, time, conditions. That is, we say in our language, when the vrittis or the impressions stored in the subconscious mind, they get some favorable conditions, they come out and have relation with the outward forms and names, and they come back with more impressions, they get more solidified, or they get repeated again and again. That is also the multiplicatory process. One thought becomes more and more strong. That is becoming many, that is becoming more solid, more strong. In that way, the play of life goes on. It is endless because every moment everything multiplies. There is no end to multiplication process. Ananta. So that is only possible when everything is destroyed all of a sudden by putting fire. That is the only way to get out of it.
Moksha.
Moksha. Jnanagni. The matchbox is knowledge. One stick is enough. That is what Vasistha is trying to put in Ram's brain. My dear Ram, the whole world is nothing but stories, mental stories, some imaginary stories, and below everything, the basement is your awareness. It is covered up now by all these names and forms and all these imaginations and all these manyness, the clouds of rainy season has covered up the whole sky. The poor crescent moon is covered up now. There is no moonlight. Aditya, Titya, today is third day of bright up. No moon is seen in western sky. Everything is covered up with clouds. That means your awareness is covered up. Ram, don't be bewildered. I am telling you only some stories, imaginations. Neither I became earth nor water nor fire, but all these were some thought waves based on complete, pure awareness. मैं सोया हूँ इस दृढ़ भाव को चेतन होकर भी मैंने जाना, और उस दशा में निद्रा दोष से उपस्थित क्या गया, अज्ञान ही मैंने कुछ नहीं जाना, इसे प्रतीत से प्राप्त कराया गया। जड़ता धारण करता है और प्रकाशमान स्वप्रकाश रूप जो वस्तु है वह तो उस समय प्रकाशती और अनुभव करती रहती है। यह बात न यदि यही बात नहीं होती तो सुषुप्ति काल में अनुभूत अज्ञान का जागृत काल में स्मरण कैसे होता? खाली सुषुप्ति काल का नहीं। Not only you remember that you slept so nicely, deeply, but you remember your dreams also. Whether you remember your dreams or you forget your dreams, you remember that you forgot the dreams. You were dreaming. I forgot what I dreamt. But you were aware that you were dreaming. That awareness is never covered up. But it was always present, but seemingly it appeared as if it was covered up by those dreamy changes or by by the by the covering of deep sleep, that tiredness of the day that appears to cover up your awareness to some extent, not fully, that cannot be absent. तत्व ज्ञान की प्राप्ति से स्थूल व्यष्टि समष्टि देह का अधिभौतिक भावना नष्ट हो जाता है। इसीलिए भी जड़ दुख की प्राप्ति नहीं हो सकता है। इस आशय से कहता है, व्हाट हैपन्स रियली व्हेन वी से the awareness was covered up by sleep or by unawareness or by tamas, we say, something we say. What happens really? Analytically, if you see what happens, आधी भौतिक भावना नष्ट हो जाती है। The thoughts of gross body, which is made up of 5 elements, elementary body, आधी भौतिक शरीर के ऊपर छाया पड़ जाता है। The body gets tired. It has got limits to act for its movement. When it acts more than its strength, then it gets tired. Tiredness is nothing but beyond habit is called tiredness. Something, some kind of disturbance, the body, mind and senses, they are acquainted with. If it becomes more, that is called tiredness. If it is more than your habit. Habit means whatever is practiced again and again, that is your habit. A habit is nothing but repetition of your actions. So in this way, when we analytically see everything, the body has its limitations, and senses also, mind also, it has some limitations. So when it goes beyond its limits, it gets tired, it wants a rest. And that's how when the physical body ideas, they are covered up by unawareness, that is, your feeling of physical body is covered up, but not the awareness. Understood now? Everybody is aware of his body. What are you? I am this body. The name belongs to the body, gross body, form. And my name is so and so. My name means the name belongs to the body. How the name is yours? Who are you then? I am the body. Though we say or not, but we feel I am the body. And that is the greatest blunder we have done in the very beginning, which is not giving up, which is not living up us. It is tightly held by I. And that is how they say there is a knot, it is tied up, I and the body. I is pure consciousness, nothing but awareness, And as it is practiced, and as it is repeated again and again, every moment, it has become one with the body. Because body is doing everything, senses are doing everything, awareness is not responsible for anything, it only witnesses. But body does everything, senses do everything, and the mind is behind it. So all these together, the doer becomes I, and that I is nothing but the whole group of this triangular cooperative society. Huh?
Swamiji, Samadhi is so experiencer of this is the I, only I remains still experiencer of awareness that I am aware, Anubhav, who experiences. I must remain, or there is no experiencer.
Arey bhai, that is what we are discussing. That I takes different forms. Sometimes it is tied up with the body. Sometimes it is free from the body. Sometimes the I tied up with the body is covered up. Sometimes it is free. Huh? That is what we are discussing. When it is tied up, it has become one with the body. And that body is tired, body is unaware. That means that I doesn't know that it was sleeping. The body sense only doesn't know. But inward I, which is not tied up with the body, that knows. But all these body sense, and all these senses, mind, etc., they have a group. Together they have a group, cooperative society. Many times we have discussed it. The body, the doer is nothing but a cooperative society manager. And here the I is mingled up. It has become one with the body. Body is nothing but a composition of 5 elements. A drug, just like we eat some medicines, it is composed by different acids or salts or something. The body is nothing but a composition. And this composition is tied up with that I, and that's how it is always unaware. Because body is, it is inert, it has nothing to do, it doesn't know anything. So also the senses. Of course, mind has got some speed, that also is inert, it has got nothing. It plays as if it is everything. All the Rama and Ravan, they fight so seriously on the pandal. They appear as if they are the real dramatists. But the audience do not know. There is somebody prompting behind the screen. Oh Ravan, now keep quiet. Rama, hold up your bow and discharge an arrow. Ravan, get down. All these are directed from the behind the screen. What do the audience know? What do they say? See? So, all the drama is going on by this body, senses and mind and prana. They are, they are inert objects, they cannot do anything. Without the support of the prompter who is sitting behind the screen inside the cave of the heart. It has a whistle that is called inner voice. It opens the screen and shuts it down. This is how the drama is going on. So, Vasistha ji narrates all these in detail. My dear Rama, all these doership, all these awareness or unawareness, all these belongs to the gross body or the cooperative society, body, senses and mind. That is called the Adhi Bhautik body, means composed five composed by five elements, which is known as the body and senses. That is inert, that's how they don't know anything, that's how they cover up the real awareness. But awareness is not absent by any means, it is present all the time. आधी भावना ही नष्ट हो जाता है. The sense of body doesn't remain there. I am not the body. When you come to the body sense, then you remember, oh, I had good sleep. Body only says, I had a good sleep. तो इसी प्रकार इसीलिए भी जड़ दुख की प्राप्ति नहीं हो सकता है. जिस पुरुष की आत्मा सत्य ज्ञान से जग गई है, सत्य ज्ञान से जग गई है, उसकी आधि भौतिक देह तत्काल विलीन हो जाती है. यानी देह में आधि भौतिकता की प्राप्ति ही नहीं रहती है और निर्मल बोध रूप आतिवाहिक देह की उत्पत्ति हो जाती है. And today we shall see up to this. Tomorrow we shall see. He says that when you are aware of the existence, that is absolute truth, then what happens? The sense of elementary body disappears. And what happens? You are entangled with the inner subtle body. Now you are entangled with, tied up with gross elementary body composed by five elements. When the awareness is aware of itself, you gain your knowledge of yourself. Who are you? Self-knowledge. Then that knowledge is nothing but that also is the subtle body. It is not tied up with the gross body. Gross body ideas, they disappear forever, and the subtle body ideas are built up. I am the subtle body. That subtle body also is a tie. It is a, say, we can say, it is a MOU. MOU. Uh, a certain conditions are agreed with by both the parties. One party is the subtle body and the other party is the causal body also. We have got different bodies. The physical body which is made up of 5 elements, and the subtle body is not 5 elements only. The essence of 5 elements, that is the, the subtle intellect with ego, I am, that is pure ego, and ego is there, and 5 types of the units. I want to see, I want to enjoy the world, I want to see the world as witness, subtle body, and that prana also is there. There is a momentum that it moves on, allows it to move on. So that is how eightfold subtle body, or carrying body they say, or subtle body they say, or individual self they say differently. And that's how the subtle body, now you are the subtle body. First of all, you are the gross body. After long analysis again and again by analytical studies, by meditating over it again and again, when this elementary body gets dissolved, then the subtle body is made up. And that subtle body, of course, it is immortal. Immortal in sense, as long as it doesn't get freedom from movement, because it is prompted with karma, so all those sanskaras. So all those impressions, they are multiplied every moment. So it is eternal body. Jiva abhinasi. The individual being is immortal. It has got no end. But that endless journey, it is known as the journey of the soul, the evolution process. It is endless, it is eternal. But it has to see many differences. Journey means it has to see different up and downs. So it is a type of bondage also. Though you are not this gross body, you are not affected by, you are not perturbed by gross happenings to the body, whether the gross body dies or you make other gross bodies, or you are always in subtle body. Even then, your journey is never ended. It is eternal journey. But that also, though a type of we can say little freedom. We always we always feel these discomforts or problems because of gross body. Gross body is nothing but a house of diseases and house of problems. When we get rid of this gross body sense, then of course we are somewhat free, but not eternally, not completely 100% you are not free. Yet you are bound to the laws of nature. So the final MOE is with the causal body, the absolute. When you are different from, you become different from, your MOU is lost now, it is over now. No more renewal of it. That only can happen when you don't sign any new MOU. Okay? That means once it is ended, or all those papers are set fire now. So you are free of all those conditions. Now you are the free bird. So there is no gross body, nor even the subtle body. There is no journey. Your journey is ended now. That is, in different language we say, setting fire to the storehouse of seeds. That is still in other language we say, Jnanagni dagdha karmani. We set fire to our karmas, to our subconscious mind, karmas, and reactions, action and reaction. This cycle is stopped forever. In this way, when we see this, all these drama, this world is nothing but a series of imaginary stories. That's all, which Vasistha was narrating. A series of unending stories. So, if at all one suffers in this world, this gross body, physical, this is elementary body that suffers, and when we are unaware of our awareness, that means the body, physical body is disturbed or it is unaware. It is always unaware because it is inert body. There is no such awareness in this. Because all these five elements, they are the modifications or superimpositions or transformations of the same Hiranyagarbha, one who became many. So in that way also, if we say all these five elements, they are not there. So elementary body is not there. It is not responsible for anything. It is just like a car. Car, sometimes it gets into accident, it gets destroyed. But the driver is inner body. And driver purchases many other cars. one car is overdue, it is not renewed again. No license is given. Or it is damaged, it is thrown into dumping place. So now another car is required, driver is there. The driver is there, it may work or it may not work, it may get retirement. But the owner is there, khojal body. So there are many cars and many drivers. So when you are the owner, you are fully free. You may purchase cars or not, you may hire drivers or not, that depends upon your free will.
So Paramhansa Swamiji, our sadhana is the atom bomb to kill the casualty.
Yes, yes, yes.
Physically will go away anyway.
Yes, yes.
And everything.
To set fire. लेकिन करेंगे क्या, मन है कि मानता नहीं। वो जोंक रक्त बीज, ये मन है क्या, ये रक्त बीज है।
Swami ji, one word में what is the biggest obstacle to self-realization?
माइंड। Then any other question? All questions belong to the mind. All the answer also are from mind only. And every drama is played by the mind. Arrest the mind, put it into a jail. That will be the end of your drama. Okay? Tomorrow we shall see further. Hari Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevamasisyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai, Sabda Brahma ki jai, Saraswati Maharani ki jai, Yoga Vasistha Bhagavan ki jai. Hari